There's only two things I like more than putting a brew on, and that's undocking a brew and tapping a brew. However, you have to put the brew on first before you can do either of those two things. Today we're going to do stars and stripes. We're going to do a couple of things slightly different on this one. The first one is we're going to be applying some food grade lubricant to all of the different joints, and when we go into the kitchen and we put the brew on, I'll show you where I put this, just to make sure when you're opening, closing, all the seals are kind of nicely lubed up, just so they kind of seal properly. So yeah, that's the first thing. Links in the description. And secondly, we're going to be brewing under pressure. Now, do your own research. Pinter are saying that you should still be brewing on 0, so off with the carbonation setting. I built my own pressure gauge and I am going to be putting this under pressure. It won't be 2, it probably won't be 1, but stay to the end of the video and I'll walk you through what pressures I'm going to go through. So, Stars and Stripes, American Pale Ale. This is a P1 exclusive or a P1 original brew. Loads of good feedback on this one, so looking forward to this one. Standard brewing times are 4 days brewing, 3 days conditioning. I'm going to extend that slightly, so I'm going to go with 7 days brewing, 2 days cold crash, and then 5 days conditioning. So basically 7-7, but I'm just doing the 2 days cold crash in between. Cool, alright, well, let's jump over to the kitchen and we'll get the brew on, and then we'll come back and talk about what pressure settings I'm going to run it at. Cheers! Let's get the brew on. Now remember, if you like the content here, please smash that like button because it really means a lot to me. Okay, first step, sanitize. Sanitizer solution is going to go in here. This is my mixing jug. Fill it up with hot water about halfway and then give it a good shake. Sanitizing solution is in my mixing jug, giving it a good shake. Top tip, just check the bottom, make sure there are no white bits in there. I'm going to pour it into my pinter, fill it up to the fill line and give it a good shake. I've given it a good shake. You can tell because I'm out of breath. I'm going to open this up and then just go 45 degrees. And what should happen is that you'll just get a steady stream. There's not a lot of pressure in here, so it probably won't come out too quick, but you should get a steady stream of water. Let that run for 20 seconds or so, and then once you're happy with that, then you can go full 90, and again, let that run for 5-10 seconds. Onto the backside now, as Lee likes to call it. We're going to set her off to make sure water comes through the pressure valve. And also I'm going to just push this in. So I'm going to push this in. Water's going to start coming out of here first, and then just tip her up and let water run through. I've set the pressure gauge to 5, and I did mention before that we put some food grade lubricant. So we've been using this. I'll just go through where I put it. So inside here to make sure that this turns nicely. Also on the cap here, and also inside the cap as well where it pushes out. That's really important. And then I've also added a little bit here to the kind of the middle of the dock. So let's crack on. I'm going to put this on now. So you line it up, turn, press down, and then turn, and that's good to go. We'll turn her over. Okay, and you'll hear the water rush to the bottom, and you can leave that with the sanitising solution in there. There's no harm there, while you mix up your brew ready to go in. Mixing the brew, this is the fun part. So I'm going to put about 2 litres of water into my mixing jug. And then I'm going to put in my stars and stripes. Now this should be stored in the fridge, but make sure you leave it out. I took it out about 8 hours ago and just left it on the side to get to room temp and give it a smell as well. It smells amazing. So that's going with the fresh press. And once I've let this finish pour, I'm going to put some hot water. It's been boiled, it's not boiling now, but I'll just put in about that much, say, not a huge amount, just to get all of the last, the good stuff out of there. So I put some hot water from the kettle to about here, and giving it a good shake, and I'm just going to pour this in and then put the lid on and then give it a good shake. So good shake later, and this is nicely mixed together. And just a quick check, if you let this settle for a while and then just turn it quickly, you want to make sure that you don't see any dark syrup stuck to the bottom, just to make sure it's really integrated with your room temperature water that you've added. So before we can fill it up into the pinter, we need to undock the pinter and get rid of the sanitising solution. So turn and lift. Pour out the sanitising solution. Okay. So that's the dock good to go. And then I'm just going to take the cap off and empty the pinter. It smells amazing. Okay, so now to fill up the pinter, so we're going to pour in the solution. And then I'm going to fill her up to the fill line with water. Now, if you're wondering, the fill line is 5.2 litres. So, there we are at the fill line. And what Pinter say is that you put your press in now, but we've already done that part. So I'm going to fill it up to around there. That's where it was before I decanted it. Fill water up to there, pour it in, and then put the lid on and give it a bit of a shake. Before I give her a shake, I'm going to put the yeast in. So yeast is in. Okay. Then lid on, and then just give her a bit of a gentle shake. Whew. Okay. Lastly, put the dock on, and we're good to go, I think. So dock on, turn, flip her over. Right, and we're good to go. Whew. Let's jump back to the studio and we'll talk about the pressure settings that we're going to brew on. Cheers. So it's time to put yellow in the brewing cupboard. And as I said at the beginning, we're going to be brewing under pressure. Again, please advise, Pinter say you should be brewing on 0. But what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to turn the carb dial, and as you turn it, you can feel a slight resistance. And as soon as I hit that resistance, you can feel it. And I'm just going to go a little bit above that. So effectively, I think that's about 0.5, 0.6 roughly. So not nowhere near 1, 0.5, 0.6. I'll leave that for 24 hours. It should be bubbling away nicely by then. And then I'll screw on my pressure gauge and get a reading. And what I'm going to be going for ideally is 10, around 10 to 12 psi. And hopefully that should be fine. If I have to turn it up, I will. Turn it down, I will. But I'll be brewing for the first 4 days around 10 to 12 psi. And after 4 days or 5 days, once I hear the bubbling kind of stop or slow down, then I'll turn it up to maybe carb dial 1, and I want to get near 20 psi. It might be slightly less or more, but that's why I built the pressure gauge to see. So that's the plan for this Stars and Stripes. I'm not going for extended long periods here. We're only doing 7 days brewing, 2 days cold crash, 5 days conditioning. So yeah, that's what we're doing. As always, if you want to see the playlist for Stars and Stripes, I'll put it up there. And if you want to see what's next on Action Frank, I'll put it up there. Cheers!